I didn't at all.
Let's get into this DeMar DeRozan 502 podcast and really explaining why he chose to join the Kings. And I think a lot of people were excited with what he had to say.
D Fox.
Yeah. I mean, that was part of the reason, even making that decision.
D Fox in my career, man. He too damn fast.
Listen, fast as shit.
Fast as shit.
Like,
he put me on the bench, man.
See?
That's the first time I said, I think I want to come off the bench, man. They want to come against some little guys who's not the same speed, man. I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to come off the bench. I remember I was like, Minnesota, I think you could probably start Tyus Jones.
I think that situation, it came out of nowhere after, season was over once free agency hit. I know it was a bunch of other options, but, when I just sat back and, realized, what the team needed, what they had, what they was fighting for, and how bad they want to win, it just fit the mold that, I want to be a part of. And, just being able to play with those guys, I'm looking forward to it. Monk,
yes, sir.
Murray,
Sabo.
It's a lot of those guys that's special, and I really want to be a part of that. I feel like, I definitely could help.
There it is. That was DeMar DeRozan on why he wanted to come to the Sacramento Kings. And I do think, Chris, when you talk about how important it is to hear how we spend so much time, whether it's Bleacher Report, whether it's the 4-letter network, and I'm not fully doing the thing where it's, oh my goodness, if you didn't play, it doesn't matter the same, because we know some of these guys out here with their podcasts, they have some ridiculous takes. Hello, Nick Young. But I will say that hearing somebody like DeMar DeRozan speak on the team from his perspective as a current player, that was what was refreshing to me and honestly made me feel more excited about it to get a look into how the rest of the league, not NBA 2K or anything like that, how the rest of the league views the current roster of the Kings.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I think it is great. I mean, it's awesome to hear him, up his teammates like that, calling them special. I mean, it could be a little bit of a word soup. He could just be, hyping up his guys, but I think it definitely speaks to at least his level of excitement. Like, this is not just a situation where he said, okay, yeah, the Kings are the team that'll pay me, and that's where I'm going, which frankly would have probably been the case for a lot of the Kings tenure. Is just, hey, yeah, they paid the tax, right? They paid the tax of paying me more than than anybody else was gonna pay me. And so, yeah, honestly, this is a last cash grab, and not that anybody would ever admit that, but it's really good to hear DeMar talk about his teammates in that fashion, talk about how De'Aaron as well was a big reason, or the reason why he really wanted to come over. We talk a lot about De'Aaron star power and in this era of super teams and big threes and duos and all that stuff, is De'Aaron Fox a name that sticks out at all? Has De'Aaron been leapfrogged by guys like Shea, by Ja Morant and stuff like that? And it's at least good to hear, not that DeMar, no disrespect to DeMar, not that DeMar is, the Kevin Durant's, the LeBron Jameses of the world, but it's still good to hear that somebody who's been in the league as long as DeMar, who has the cachet and has the just the knowledge of what goes on in the league to say, like, I would love to play with De'Aaron Fox. And the fact that he's not afraid either. He's not afraid of De'Aaron's speed, isn't afraid of the Kings style of play. I think it's great. I mean, of course, actions definitely speak louder than words, but at least it seems like DeMar is legitimately excited from a basketball perspective. This isn't about building a brand. This isn't about, hey, this is a situation where I still feel like I have something and nobody else was going to give me the opportunity that the Kings gave me. This is DeMar saying, I'm excited about what they have here. I'm excited about what they're growing, and I think I can actually add to it, not just be a piece in it. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's awesome to hear him talk so great about the Kings, and we'll see once things actually get kicking how well they work together, because you hear DeMar there, and it sounds like he's willing to work with the Kings, not work alongside the Kings.
It feels like this is a term that gets overused, and I don't know how much people even want to go down this path anymore. But would you call the Kings a big three? I guess there's two. I guess there's two questions. Would you call the Kings a big three? And would the rest of the league or you know what I mean? Would the rest of the basketball world call them a big three?
I guess I would call them a big three. Big three is really not the way of building team. I mean, now people build teams like, I think the big three era is honestly kind of over, but in today's modern, what a big three is, I think it's about as good. Of course, Phoenix has the ultimate one with KD, Book, and Beal, but I think so. I think I would consider it a big three, and I would assume that those across the league would. I mean, I don't see why not. De'Aaron Fox is somebody who's been very, very capable of his time in the league. Obviously an all-star, Domantas Sabonis, multiple-time all-star, DeMar DeRozan, future Hall of Famer. If that's not a big three, I mean, I don't know really what is. It feels like, again, especially in today's NBA, I don't know how many other best three players really fill that kind of category. Milwaukee has Dame, Giannis, and Chris Middleton. I'm just trying to think of other teams across the league. I guess the Knicks at this point, you could say they have a version of a big three with McHale, Brunson, and Julius Randle, I guess. There's a couple scattered across the league, but I think the Kings, with the exception of some of the top end trios, I think that they definitely fit into like an upper tier two of a big three combo.
Yeah, I'm trying to think now. I mean, the Lakers just have the duo. I don't think anybody's good enough to kind of fit that three.
Even Boston,
did you say Philly?
I did not say Philly. I guess they have a new big three, right?
Yeah. They have a big three with Embiid when he plays, Tyrese, and obviously Paul George. But besides that, I mean, I guess Minnesota.
Yeah,
but
you would consider that.
I mean, they're big.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a big three.
That's a large three.
It's a big three. So yeah, I mean, I think that the Kings are in a kind of a nice position where it's still balanced, right? Or in theory, we have to see them play, but it should still be pretty balanced. But get that star power that they haven't had. 916-339-1140. We will get to Matthew on the other side, and we will also hear why DeMar DeRozan doesn't tie his shoes. Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Subscribe.